Book 1, Dead Exit. Written by Khari Colurz. Chapter 1. The Empty. A young man in his late 20s, J. Miles hadn't laughed like that in a long time. Not talking about the quick, polite chuckles he gave coworkers. Not the strained laughter he forced during family dinners. This was a real one, deep, loose, and full of breath. The kind of laugh that made his shoulders ease back and let his chest open up. The kind that reminded him, for just a flicker of a moment, what it was like to feel okay. He stood in the center of a sports store, the kind of place with glossy floors and too many fluorescent lights, holding up two hoodies. One a bold, defiant red, the other an unforgettable black. His little sister, Amina, stood across from him with her arms folded and a serious crease between her eyebrows, like this choice was a life or death decision. "This one, or that one?" he asked, raising both hoodies again. Amina tilted her head. She was younger by 5 years but somehow always looked like she knew more than him. "That one," she said, pointing to the black hoodie. "It looks better on you. Less try hard." Jay grinned, eyes crinkling. "Say less." It was one of them rare good days. A day without the weight. A day without the murk. The two of them were just hanging out, killing time before a movie they'd been dying to see, walking through shelves of basketball sneakers and workout gear like the world outside didn't exist. Jay couldn't remember the last time he felt that kind of calm. Then, the store clerk walked over. Clean-cut, probably around the same age as Jay. Wore a navy polo with a laminated name tag clipped to his chest. He smiled, but not the kind of smile that belonged in customer service. It stretched too far across his face. Didn't quite meet the eyes. And he didn't blink. Jay's spine prickled. "Most definitely," the clerk said. His voice was flat, monotone, like he'd rehearsed the line over and over but never quite got it right. Jay glanced at Amina. She raised a brow but didn't say anything. He forced a tight smile and took the shopping bag without making eye contact. "Appreciate it." The smile on the clerk's face stayed frozen as he turned away. Jay couldn't help noticing how he never broke eye contact. Even after they left the store, the feeling stuck with him. Like something was off kilter. A painting slightly crooked, a singular knock that came in the middle of the night. But he shook it off. That evening, the buzz of the mall had given way to the hush of a movie theater. Plush chairs, cool air, the sound of soda fizzing, wrappings of candy being opened. Jay and Amina shared a big tub of popcorn, knees knocking against each other as they cracked jokes about the outlandish trailers flashing on the big screen. "I swear, if another movie drops with a talking dog," she whispered. Jay snorted. That dog sounded like it smoked cigarettes. Laughter. Easy. Natural. He leaned back in his seat to take a breath, letting it all wash over him, the sounds, the screen, the warmth of having someone close. Moments like these were rare. He didn't know how long they'd last, but he clung to them like lifelines. Then, mid-laugh, he turned to his left. Empty seat. And as he turns to his right, "I hope this movie." The seat where Amina had been just seconds ago, vacant. His stomach clenched. The trailer on the screen was still. No lights, no voices, no sound, not even the low hum of the projector. Silence. Jay sat frozen, hand still gripping the bucket of popcorn. Amina? Nothing. He stood slowly, the hush around him unnatural, as if the entire room were holding its breath. Then, "This way," a voice whispered, so close it brushed the hairs behind his ear. Jay whipped around. Nothing. Just a faint red glow, pulsing above the back of the room. The exit sign. It flickered, buzzed, hummed in tune with his heartbeat. He moved toward it, pulled by something he didn't understand. The moment he stepped through, The heavy door slammed shut behind him with a clang that echoed like a gunshot in an empty church. Jay spun. No handle, no windows, just a smooth slab of metal and a wall of cold gray concrete. He swore under his breath. What kind of exit door doesn't have a handle? The hallway stretched before him, long and featureless. Concrete floor, concrete ceiling, dim lights humming overhead, flickering with a rhythm that made his teeth itch. He called out, voice low but firm. "Hello?" The echo came back delayed. Long, too long. It echoed again, and again. The reverb went on so long it stopped sounding like his own voice. He turned slowly. Footsteps. Behind him. Soft, measured, unhurried. He spun. No one. The lights above buzzed louder. Their glow flickered violently, pulsing like a dying heartbeat. From the shadowed corners of the corridor, they came. One by one. The store clerk, the theater usher, his little sister Amina, all pale-skinned, still, expressionless, but smiling. Their eyes were open but hollow. Their mouths stretched too wide. Skin waxy, hands limp at their sides. Jay's chest tightened. He turned and ran. Every hallway twisted like a maze drawn by a madman. Corners led to dead ends. Doors led to nowhere. When he backtracked, the layout had changed behind him. He pulled out his phone. No bars. The screen glitched, lines of static, and then blinked off. "You got to be kidding me," he muttered, fighting the rising panic in his throat. A sound echoed through the walls, like laughter, but not human, mocking, low, hungry. Jay didn't wait. He bolted forward, heart hammering. He stumbled into a room cloaked in a cold, bluish darkness. At its center stood a mirror, 7 feet tall. The glass cracked at its edges like veins in ice. Jay stared into it and saw himself, but his reflection didn't move. It just stared, lifeless, sunken eyes, hollow cheeks, no breath, no warmth. Then, slowly, it smiled. Not Jay, the thing in the mirror. Jay stumbled backward, breath caught in his throat. He ran back into the hallway and stopped. The figures had returned, more now, too many to outrun. The space between them closed slowly. They didn't move like people. They glided like thoughts you couldn't shake. Nightmares that stayed crawling under your skin. Jay couldn't move. His knees buckled. His breath came shallow and quick. The store clerk stepped forward. Eyes empty. Smile sharp. His voice was a murmur. Soft. Heavy with inevitability. "We only feed on those who are already empty." He took one more step. "And you're almost dry." Jay didn't fight. He couldn't fight. His arms dropped to his sides. The fog returned, thick, quiet, and cold. His eyes dimmed, and the hallway dissolved into darkness. Chapter 2. The In-Between. Heartbeat. There was a heartbeat, not Jay's heartbeat. This came distant at first, like a muffled drum echoing through water. Then louder, closer, a heavy thud that seemed to press against his ribs from the outside in. And then, the buzzing, a sharp electric hum that tore through the silence like a warning. Jay gasped awake. His body jerked upright, as if dragged out of a nightmarish dream. Cold sweat clung to his shirt. His fingers curled instinctively into the dirt floor beneath him. His breath came fast, ragged, shallow. Everything around him pulsed faintly. The space shimmered like heat rising off tarmac, except it was cold. Bitter cold, and the air tasted like rust. The walls, if you can call them walls, were cracked and uneven, bleeding thin veins of blue light that blinked like stars dying out one by one. The texture wasn't wood or stone or metal. It was something else, something not meant to be touched. Jay sat still for a moment, trying to slow down his breath. His brain fighting to make sense of it all. The theater, the hallway, the mirror, the smiles. He looked down at his hands, trembling. "This ain't real," he whispered, voice dry. "This can't be real." He slowly pushed himself to his feet. His first few steps were unsteady, like a baby deer learning how to walk. Every sound was too loud, every breath too hollow. He turned in a slow circle, trying to find any sign of direction, any break in this madness. That's when he saw it. Suspended in midair, maybe 50 feet away, floated a red exit sign. It flickered rhythmically, buzzing softly, as if it was alive. Jay stared at it for a long time. He didn't know why, but it felt important. He stepped toward it. "I gotta get out of here," he muttered. "Wherever the hell here is." The path toward the exit wasn't straight. It bent and folded under his feet, the floor shifting subtly with each step. At times he thought he was walking in place. Other times he felt the world was moving around him. As he neared the sign, he noticed something strange. The light cast no shadows. Not on the walls, not on the ground, not on him. It was as if light had forgotten how to behave in here. The door beneath the exit sign looked ancient and modern all at once. Smooth metal, matte black, but framed in jagged, bone-like edges that glistened wetly under the red glow. Jay reached for the handle, but there wasn't one. Just as his palm met the surface, click, a loud, final sound, like a lock snapping shut. He stepped back, startled. The exit sign above sparked, then flickered out. Darkness swallowed the space behind him. "Nope," Jay whispered. "No, no, no, come on." Feeling the door that was once under the glowing red exit sign. Then, a voice, from the shadows, low, calm, soothing in tone but terrible in texture. "You ran from death, but now you stand before it." Jay turned slowly, and saw it. The figure emerged without sound, tall, robed in darkness so absolute it bent the space around it. He didn't walk, he simply was, closer with every blink. His mask was porcelain white, streaked with thin black cracks that wept bruised blue. It stretched across his face like skin carved and repainted. The eye sockets were hollow, black, bottomless, and yet stalking. Jay felt his body go still, like prey realizing it's already in the predator's sight. "Who the hell are you?" he managed to say, his throat tight with fear. The figure intensified its gaze. Its voice came like wind through a crypt. "I am the gate." The judgment, the breath before resurrection, or the silence after your final scream. Jay stumbled back until his shoulder blades hit the door. Only it didn't feel like metal anymore. It pulsed, soft, warm, and living. He recoiled, heart slamming against his chest. "I'm not supposed to be here," he said. "I didn't die. I walked through a door. That's all." The figure said nothing, but the space around it darkened further. "Doors are illusions," it finally said. "Exits are choices. But this is the in-between." Jay's pulse thundered in his ears. The figure drifted closer. The ground beneath hissed with each movement, like his presence scorched reality itself. Charred-lined spider webbed out from under his robe. Jay clenched his fists. This was a nightmare. It had to be. He tried to move, tried to run, but his legs wouldn't respond. Then the voice spoke again, deeper now, vibrating in his bones. "You have tasted fear. Abandonment, regret. The question is not how you got here, but what are you willing to become?" The shadows behind the figure warped and opened. Jay saw flickering images in the dark, echoes of his own life, but fractured. His mother, crying into her hands at the kitchen table. Amina, looking at him with disappointment and hurt. His father angrily throwing a wrench in the garage, tears in his eyes. He gritted his teeth, squeezing his eyes shut. "This isn't real," he said. "You're not real. This is a dream." The figure leaned forward, its breath colder than ice. "No, Jay. This is the moment before you wake up. And whether you rise or stay buried depends on what you are willing to lose." Jay's voice cracked. "What are you talking about?" he cried. "I just want to leave. I didn't ask for this. And, how do you know my name?" The figure raised a pale, elongated hand. It hovered just inches from Jay's face. "You may return, but not as you were. Life will know you as mine." Its fingertips touched his forehead. And everything shattered. Jay screamed, but no sound escaped his lips. Blue fire roared through his veins, spreading outward from the point of contact. His body convulsed, his vision fractured into shards of color, memory, and pain. Every thought felt like it was being ripped apart, rearranged, burned, and branded with something ancient. And then, stillness, darkness. A voice echoed from within him, not just heard, but felt. "When the dead walk beside you, when the night twists and screams, remember this: you were never saved, you were claimed." Jay's eyes snapped open. He was back in the theater. Same seat, same popcorn bucket, half eaten on his lap. The screen played trailers, people laughing. The lights glowed low and golden. He turned slowly to his right. Amina sitting there, munching popcorn like nothing happened. But just as he moved, for a split second, in the seat beyond her, a flicker of white, the mask, stalking, then gone. Jay blinked, swallowed hard. "You good?" Amina asked, not looking over. He nodded slowly, his voice quieter than he meant. Yeah, just spaced out, I guess." But inside him, something new was breathing, something waiting, something ancient,